How's it going, Yu-Gi-Oh players? Team Go here, John, and joining me is
Justin.
and today we're going to be discussing the new Noble Knight card, last chapter of the Noble Knights. Which, let me start off by saying that is an amazing name. I love that. Right off the bat, it just gives off, it just feels like comeback. All right, anyway. Last chapter of the Noble Knights is a normal spell you can activate when your opponent controls at least one monster and you don't. It targets one Noble Arms equipped spell in your graveyard and one Noble Knight monster in your graveyard that can be equipped with that spell. When it resolves, you special summon that monster and equip it with the equipped spell. You can only activate one last chapter of the Noble Knights per turn, but that's the only limitation. You're free to summon whatever you want afterwards. No life points are lost, no battle phases are lost, no effects negated, and you don't have to summon in defense position or anything like that. And already that being a Noble Knight player, that already replaces Soul Charge in the deck. It just seems it seems better than Soul Charge, because not only can you get your Medrow back or anything else for that matter, but you can still attack, you can still do whatever you want with the summon, which is one thing that Noble Knight Brothers, one of his problems was that you can special summon up to 2 Noble Knight monsters, but you can only special summon Noble Knight monsters. So this card doesn't have that limitation. So that's good.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to be going for mostly your Medrow to get your Sacred King out. I feel like there should be a ruling when it equips, like stuff should miss timing, but I feel like it's going to be ruled that it's happening at the same time. So I feel in the best situation, you should equip the Noble Knight you're bringing out with Destiny to avoid a bottomless, torrential, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So any thoughts, Justin?
I think like one of the strongest plays that you'd be able to do with the what is it, the last chapter would be like going for your Medrow. And so basically from me playing against you like a few times, like I'm guessing if you went for Medrow, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be able to, since it's a Gemini monster, wouldn't you be able to normal summon it again that turn?
Oh no, they're not Gemini monsters. They're just normal. They're kind of like Gemini monsters, but when they're not equipped, they're normal monsters. So right off the bat, they get equipped and they get all their effects. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like from I don't know what I've read and what I've experienced playing against them, like testing.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like that play would be really strong, just like being able to go off and go for your Artrogus and stuff like that. It's too good.
Yeah. Also mentioned in the article is it says that you can also equip it to Boros, which you could also search out more equips that can either go on other Noble Knight monsters, or you could just equip it to Boros. That's another thing that the reason why I think Boros is really good is because you can equip a bunch of stuff to him, and he just becomes like an immobile fortress, kind of. He serves the same purpose. He can be just as good as Sacred King Atorgus, is what I'm trying to say, by himself. Especially with Queen of the Noble Arms, Gwynnifer. Yeah, I feel like this
super beefy.
Yeah. I feel like this is a step in the right direction in terms of support that the deck needs. Like Soul Charge does a pretty good job in the deck, but the fact that you're able to attack with this just makes it a lot better. And like, there's really no downside.
Because the Soul Charge is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with Soul Charge, like with you activating it and not being able to deal any damage, like say your opponent's wide open
Yeah,
and you try to go for like a big push for game, and Soul Charge isn't gonna be like isn't gonna let you do that. But
exactly.
with the last chapter, you'd be able to put in like a lot of damage just like by activating that, and it has no real like drawback. It's
Mhm.
like it's basically a win.
Exactly. A lot of times when I've had to use Soul Charge in my games, most of the time it's usually to get back just one monster, because I would
Mhm.
have something like Kaiser Coliseum on the field, and just to preserve my field, I would usually get back Brothers or like a Boros or something, instead of actually having Medrow, because at that point in the game, if you don't have Gwynfer in the graveyard, you're stuck with just a bunch of monsters with no equip, so you can't really go for your equip play. But with this, you can actually equip a monster with an equip card in the graveyard, so it opens up more plays.
Yeah.
Especially with Noble Knight Brothers, because he already has big beefy defense, but his only downside is that he has really
Mhm.
weak attack, so when you normal summon him, he kind of just sits there on the field, like wide open. But with this card, you can get him on the field, equip him with something, and then activate his effect to recycle some stuff in your graveyard to your deck to keep the game going. So I feel like this is an amazing late game card, which is something that the deck pretty much needs, because the deck is really strong,
Mhm.
has a really strong beginning and mid game, but late game is when the deck starts to have trouble, which this will definitely help out with.
Yeah. Like from some threads I've been reading, a lot of people are talking about like how it's not like I don't know what they're talking about, but they're saying that the last chapter isn't very good, and that they'd stick with Soul Charge. But it's like
Yeah, it's probably just
yeah, and
another
like some
argument
people are
on.
saying that it's
No, go ahead.
oh, and it's just like they're talking about how it's like it's not as good as Soul Charge, because with Soul Charge you can go for two monsters, right?
Yeah, of
And then
course.
going for the Artrogus, but then basically if you activated the last chapter and went for Medrow, it would be the same thing as getting an Artrogus,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
without
I
losing
feel like
the
this is
life points.
another. Yeah, this is another argument on preference, because it's kind of the same thing when Noble Knight Brothers came out. People were like, "Oh, well, Gawain's
Mhm.
better just because you can go for any generic rank play." As with Brothers, you have to go for Noble Arms, or for not for Noble Arms, for a Noble Knight. But I mean, he also has that effect where you can shuffle stuff back, and plus that he has 2400 defense. He's really hard to get over. But the only limitation is you have to go for the Noble Knight monsters. I feel like this is kind of the same argument. Yeah, sure, Soul Charge, you have better options, but I feel like with last chapter, you're able to actually go for what you need at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. Just playing the deck. I feel like this card is up for argument on preference, because I kind of just avoided
Yeah.
looking at other people's opinions on this card for now, just because we're trying to do this video. But
Mhm.
I can agree with that. I can agree with what they're saying.
Yeah.
The thing about Noble Knights is that
But
there's just so many ways to play it, and like there isn't just the king play. I mean, some people play Kaiser Coliseum, some people don't play Kaiser Coliseum, some people play heavy back row, some people don't play heavy back row. Like it's just one thing about this deck that I feel like some of the appeal comes from.
mhm. Like I've seen a build where some guy went for his back row. He played through Royal Decree, and just played like upstarts
Yeah,
and
yeah,
reckless greeds. And
yeah.
yeah, it was like I don't know. It seemed like a good idea, but I wasn't too sure because I'm not like a big Noble Knight player either.
Yeah, no,
But he did.
it's debatable. Like I
But
mean, I play
it's
the
just
Kaiser
like
Coliseum build.
preferences, I guess.
Yeah, I play the Kaiser Coliseum build, which
Mhm.
is another card that just stays in the back row, which is one thing about the what turns people off to Noble Knights is that it's very heavily equip based. So I mean, unlike Insectors where you only need really like a couple spots to equip the stuff, Noble Knights you really need as many spots as possible.
Yeah.
So it's really just how people play the deck. Like I don't like a lot of cards that stay in the back row that take up spots for my equips. So I mean, besides Kaiser Coliseum, I don't run the Royal Decree because it just takes up more spots. Plus, I'm already using Kaiser Coliseum main deck, so that's why I run just the Summon Reactors, Torrential Tribute, Bottomless, and Warning. But those could easily just be 3 Decrees, and the Kaiser Coliseums could be 3 Upstarts. But I mean, this is just the play style that I prefer. So it's really just preference based.
Like there's what is it? But hey, they got 2 what is it? 2 rotors now.
Oh yeah, definitely. 2 rotors definitely help. But surprisingly, one of the problems that I'm facing is that I'll get my monsters, but I won't have my... It's kind of the same problems as before. Like, I'll get my monsters, but I won't get my equips. Or I'll get my equips, but I won't get my monsters. Like, there really needs to be, like, a universal search card. But, I mean, I'm not saying that...
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to, like, break the deck or anything, but if consistency is what this deck needs, I really enjoy... Your laptop is speeding up. I can hear that. Yeah, I can hear it ripping up. But yeah, but 2 rotors will definitely helps. Like I've said in the deck profile, like it opens up way more options. Because before you're limited to searching for Medrow or Boros. But with the second one, I could be more lenient on which Noble Knight I want in my hand at a time. But yeah, I mean, the only way to get this card is in the Noble Knight box set. So. I'm sure this will be at least a one of. Like I can imagine people playing 2 maybe, but 1 last chapter seems really good.
Yeah. Unless like the leak is wrong and like the last chapter's effect is like add 1 Noble Knight monster and a Noble Arms card to your hand.
Yeah.
That would be
I don't think so.
Really good search card.
I think this is, I mean, even though we're not provided a picture, which would have been really nice, but I feel like this is the effect that we're going to be getting, which is okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I'll definitely use it at 1.
It's a good effect.
Yeah. So yeah, that was getting to the core on last chapter of the Noble Knights. Any final thoughts?
Other than we're gonna have to deal with it with you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. Alright.
I'm not.
Alright.
I have enough trouble playing against you.
Yeah, like I've said, I'm definitely will be running it over Soul Charge. Definitely a 1 of, maybe 2 of, but we'll have to see when it comes out. Alright, this is Team Almond Core. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.